Hello and welcome to the Basler Electric tutorial series. This video is going to show how to edit the one-line space of a BE1-FLEX. Typically you're going to start, or this video is going to start, from the perspective of having imported an HMI file, possibly from one of the ones installed with Bestcoms Plus, possibly from a template elsewhere. But we're going to start with this point. Jump down into Advanced and HMIC Editor, and we're going to start getting into some deeper layers. First thing you're going to do is export that SVG. The SVG is the one-line drawing in scaled vector graphics format. And I'm just going to call this Feeder 2. And that SVG file can be imported and opened up in any standard graphic design software. So I'm going to file open in my other software and open up that SVG file. So you're going to see that same drawing that was in the HMI of the one line on the Flex itself. So the way this typically works, or generally works I should say, is the one line is going to be looking for digital points in the relay, and it's going to toggle those layers or IDs or chunks or whatever it is on or off based upon digital status in the relay. Whether that's going to hide or show a layer, that's all configurable. But this is a simple example of a breaker that's got one layer hidden. Let's say that green layer of breaker open when that bit is false, and when breaker open is true, it's going to show this drawing, which is just a drawing, a layer on top of a layer. For this very simple example, we're just going to go ahead and grab a backdrop image, and we're going to throw it on that drawing. So exported it that way. Now, that's all you really have to do, but do be aware of how those images are layering and which one is going to be stacked on top of another based upon when one is hidden or not. So edit whatever you want to in SVG. Like I said, it's open protocol graphic designer software, so lots of different software programs can do it. Now when you export it or save as, I'm going to save as SVG. I'm going to save it as the same type, and it's actually going to show me one little thing here I'm going to make note of. The image location, if you're using an image itself, you're typically going to want to embed that. If you're just doing drawing within the SVG itself, that step is irrelevant. And also with that, sometimes when you do that export, it will create a no longer valid tag in that SVG file, which is a XLink type format. So if your drawing doesn't happen to work right off the bat, you can go into any text editor, Microsoft Word or whatever it is, and search for XLink, specifically XLink : and just delete that from the SVG file. So I'll delete that SLink and then I'll save it. Again, if you're not using images, that step is totally unnecessary. It's irrelevant. So now when I go to import that SVG, I can import that same file, Feeder 2. It doesn't show up as the changes yet because I need to hit my show or update preview, which is going to create a pop-up and update the thumbnail, and I can see that drawing that I had thrown in there right there. I can go ahead and close that updater, and it'll show this on this one screen, and that's all you really have to do to update that one-line space. Other videos that we'll get into, we can talk about how you map digital points, and rules, how do I want to control that breaker, and all sorts of other things that we can get into with the HMI editor. But that's, again, how to export the SVG, how to make modifications in that other external software, and how to import it and view it back in Bestcoms Plus world. Thank you very much.